that there will be some expense. I'm not saying that
Right.
at all.
And I've only got 1.9 in here right now. We've got 1.4 for the Cambridge Bridge and then the 500,000, so there's only 1.9 in the amount that you're looking at.
Well, you were adding 400,000 to a 1.12, so that they originally gave us.
I made the 1.1 be 1.4, sorry.
But their original figure was 1.17 or 1.12, and then they added an additional.
1.172.
Right, and then they added an additional 400,000.
They went up to 1.4.
Yeah, they didn't add it.
Okay.
It's 1.4.
Okay, but I already know that number will be brought down. Now, I'm comfortable leaving that in there for now because they are talking about the what-ifs, but their what-ifs really are gonna even be lower if we're doing what we're saying we're gonna do, and we're gonna lift it and shift it. It won't cost near that to do that, and the engineering's already done to be able to do that and certified. And so we just need them to accept that certification, and it looks like they're going to, because Charlie is a engineer. And so when you take that, and then the 500, and that money's front-loaded, I realize we may have all that money going out, but it'll be coming right back in. It's not the 2 or 3 year waiting period, that's my point, that we're worried about.
That's not been our experience. I hope it's
No, it
not.
hasn't been in the past. I agree with you.
It has not been our experience.
Yes, ma'am, and I agree with you. But everything that we're doing right now has been a different experience with them, and it's been a better experience,
Without a
right?
doubt.
So,
I'd like to ask one question, and maybe Kelly is the right person to ask, but I always thought that TxDOT covered 90% of the cost when it comes to replacing or repairing bridges.
No, for the off-system bridge program is what the county is involved with. It's a federal program, and the federal government pays 80% of the total cost of the bridge project.
Okay.
The state pays 10%, and the county can either pay 10% of the total cost or do equal share in in-kind services that upon their
So
approval.
how does this one work that we're assuming we're paying 25%?
I don't know if for the state with the off-system bridge program or the
I don't know.
federal government, if they would consider.
Well, don't get
that
me
as
wrong,
a
I'm
rebate.
pleased, tickled pink that FEMA wants to pick up 75% of the cost or possibly more, it sounds like from Commissioner Jones, but
I don't know how that.
I'm just trying to understand where's the TxDOT component in this?
and Tracy, if it comes in at that 5.855 million, what's our in-kind looking like donation-wise?
I don't have that figure for you.
Okay. I hate to put you on the spot here. I knew you're sitting there though, so I'm gonna ask.
That's what you get for attending this.
And could you figure out how that works? I'm kind of curious, and I just don't know.
I don't know their exact terminology, but basically they're talking about front-loading the money on it, is what they're talking about, through a rapid,
I'm talking about the donated.
oh, the donated.
Does that mean they're gonna pick up 100% of the cost because we get to count
We'll get to count, we will get to count our donated hours towards our 25%.
Okay,
All that
so
in-kind, is that correct, Tracy?
all of it.
From what I understand, are donated hours and any donated services.
Yeah, equipment or whatever,
Right.
whatever we
So
claim.
I do have some invoices for engineering services that can go with that.
Right. Well, that's what I had, so I don't know where you guys are.
Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I guess I am a little bit more comfortable going into the reserve. This is not the time to raise taxes on people that are already stressed. So I know we're worried about next year and even the year beyond. But I don't think we should let fear drive our decisions. We always over budget, and we have a much higher reserve left than we estimated at the start of the year. And I actually think we'll be okay. I'd like to see it, 20% or above, but I don't see any magic in 23.2, or for that matter, 25.
Judge, if we went at .4024,
No new revenue rate?
right, the no new revenue rate, how badly would that affect us going into next year?
Well, my understanding
But
is
if,
it lowers revenue by 1.2 million, is what Bob Reeves told us last time.
1 point what?
1.2.
You're lowering the rate 2 cents,
Mhm.
and 1 cent equals about $6.50.
Right,
So 2 cents would be about 1.3.
I thought I heard him say 1.2, but anyway,
no, well, it would be,
plus or minus.
well, that's about what he just said, though.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah, well, he said 650. I thought it was 600 that I heard, but he might have better
Okay.
ears.
Okay.
So it's about the same, whether it's 1.2 or 1.3. And you just saved us at least that much, so,
I didn't save anything.
well,
You know,
you've
when
shown the
the-
possibility of
When
costs
this
coming down
event
by at
started,
least that much.
You know, first few days of it, a week into it, whatever, I don't know. It's been a blur. But I was thinking about the budget and what have you, and the devastation, and what was gonna be on our plates as far as roads, bridges, and all kinds of things. And I think I mentioned it the other day to some people that back then, just shooting from the hip, I thought, man, if there was any way, and this is when people were thinking we were going to 8% and all that kind of stuff, which is crazy, never was even considered. But I thought, man, if we could land this plane at the same tax rate we had last year, it would be a slight increase on people. Man, I'd be tickled to death. And then fast forward, here we are, you know, 5 or 6 weeks into it, and there's a chance we could go with the no new revenue rate, which is, you know, I think most people out there would think is a home run if we could do either one of them. I am concerned about next year. I'm not afraid to go with no new revenue rate.
My feelings are, if we go with no new revenue, then, and all of this doesn't fall perfectly into place, we will have a tax increase next year.
Oh, yes,
Well, we
That's
may or
right.
we may not. I'm not gonna jump to that conclusion.
Well, you may not, but I know, I
That's
don't wanna
fine.
see the
Well,
county go belly up either.
there'll be a lot of-
Over a couple of cents.
a lot more pieces of the puzzle that,
Yeah,
Right.
1.2 or
And I'm not condemning us saying we're gonna go up.
belly
I'm just telling you, realistically, we're probably going to,
Well,
if
we may
everything
have.
doesn't land
look,
perfectly.
you know, as much as people have been beating the drum that we've been hammering on taxes, I think we've proven that that's not the case. The first year,
Well-
the judge and I were sitting up here, we went with the tax rate from the year before, okay? And then look what we've done. People's tax rate has gone down, down, down the whole time, other than the bond year. And, you know, when I first took office, if you had told me we'd been able to do that 6 years in, I would've laughed. There's no way you could do that without raising taxes. But we've done a good job of it, and, the people before us have been very conservative, and we've kept the tax rate down. And, I had lunch with a couple gentlemen yesterday, and after the statement a couple weeks ago in here, they looked at theirs and said, you're right, ours has gone down the last few years, you know? That's a fact. We've been conservative. We've done a good job. People cry about us giving the 2% raise or whatever. Doggone it, these employees deserve it. They deserve more than that. So whichever, I'm flexible, guys. I can go either way with this.
Well, reality is, if the tax rate, if we have a real problem with it, you're faced with, next year, you're either gonna go up or you're gonna lay people off.
Yeah, Right.
That's reality.
right?
Kinda,
It
because
may or may
the
not be.
governmental functions that we have to perform,
Right?
we have to provide.
I know.
No
Yeah,
matter how we do it.
yeah.
The challenge is if the budget is set, it's controls over the execution of the budget. A good thing is that we talk about money every single time we do Commissioners Court, and there's budget adjustments that go along with it. But if we have a lot of good ideas over the next execution of a year, hard no's have to come from this court. Like, I think it's a good idea to have low water crossing gates and low water crossing signs. That's not a part of her budget. That's not factored in.
Right.
So we're either gonna have to be really resourceful and find other money to do some of these good ideas, because it can't come from our budget.
You're
And we're gonna have to really do good research and pay attention to all the budget adjustments that come every single court.
Yep.
Because we're stuck with a very tight budget. And yeah, it's gonna be old furniture in the animal control building, okay? We know that we can't get everything we want at Hill Country Youth Event Center. Even a future EOC sounds like a great idea with server rooms and closets, but we're on a very tight budget. Especially when we're digging into reserves, so we have to be mindful of that and be remembered by this, because once we're stuck with it,
Yeah.
we're not generating additional
No, that's right.
stuff.
Yep.
But historically, we always underspend the budget.
This
There's
is,
always more
this is,
reserve left.
this is a
This is a
abnormal-
historic
I
year.
realize that.
This is gonna be
abnormal time.
historic in our
But
future.
what I'm
yeah.
trying
It
to
is.
tell you is, if we went with the no new revenue rate, that 1.2 or $1.3 million is not gonna break the county. And I think it just sends all the right message to the people that have already been hurt so badly, that we're not trying to screw them on top of everything they've
No
already been
one's
through.
screwing anybody.
Yeah, there are people that have been saying that, so anyway, I'm just trying to make a point.
Well,
make it true.
I agree, I agree.
yeah.
No one up, and I agree, no one up here would ever do that, but I still say we send all the right message to everyone in the county if we can at least keep it at the no new revenue rate. I don't believe that $1.2 million makes much of a difference.
I'm more concerned about doing the right thing than I am the message that you send.
Well,
And the right thing is to perform our governmental functions. And to do that, we're talking about spending over 40% of our savings for 1 year. That's what we're talking about doing here.
that's what it was for. As I say, the decision on 1.2 or $1.3 million is not gonna impair our ability to do the government functions. I agree with Commissioner Holt, we're gonna have to be very judicious, watch every expenditure very closely, tighten the belt, and learn to say no to some things. I believe that this court is capable of doing that.
How many open positions do we have in the budget, do you know, that people are gonna be trying to fill? Any idea?
How many open positions we have right now?
positions?
I don't have a number at hand.
Yeah.
Are there quite,
I believe has at least
Seven, it could be seven.
Yeah.
and how are you able to function without them?
That's what I'm. Missing.
Well, I mean,
missing
are we
one
still
that's
doing
seven.
what we're supposed to do in this county without them? Or are we falling way behind?
We're falling behind on the seal code.
Worked together and kinda had to change it up a little bit, but I think we still have done a pretty good job with all that we've done. So I guess we're the best that we can.
Do we have any seal coating plan for this upcoming year? Didn't we strike a bunch of that out of the budget?
Well, we're gonna kinda see how things go, cause we've got a lot of guardrail out there that needs to be replaced.
Correct.
The road damage that we've got, I wouldn't say is horrendous, but there is some road damage that needs to be repaired. So, I think our main thing is getting that guardrail put back in place, and we will get to do that. Some of the guardrail is obsolete, and they can.
Well, do we anticipate contracting most of that, or?
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the guardrail cost again? I remember you told me, Kelly, and
We estimated that
For
for
foot?
the locations that we have, that we'd probably be looking at maybe 500,000, 600 at the very most, but we thought probably about 500.
total?
Yeah, it
Okay.
may not even be that.
That'd be a FEMA item.
Right. Is that what you figured into this? Was about that, or was it higher?
No, I'm just going back, and I don't think there's anything in there for guardrails. I was looking at something that had a list of the roads. What I was looking at is when y'all gave me the changes that y'all made, and this is in Fund 15, we make the guardrails be 50,000, made us for 200,000.
Well, that was off of what their normal budget would be.
Right, that was the
That
norm.
was not the damaged.
normal budget being at 50,000, or are we going to zero, or will there be guardrails that aren't being related that you're gonna need, I guess is the question.
Yeah, I think that was gonna be work performed by our road and bridge, and we cut that way back.
Okay. I just-
Yeah, that wouldn't be included with the other, right.
I know when Donnie and I went out with Tia. to do
Kelly,
the-
why don't you go to the microphone?
To kind of do the first round of stuff, we came up with, I want to say the total was 8,000,000, 8.5, but that was figuring 6 million on Cade Loop.
Right.
And that was figuring high. So a few roads, we've got like 7 locations. And some are guardrail and some spalling on the concrete of the bridges. And then we've got 3 roads that have got some damage to them. The main stuff, other than Cade Loop Bridge for us, the most expense is the guardrail.
Kelly, you'd figured in 8.5, you think, for all of it?
That when we did that P-stat in the very,
That's not
very
what's in
beginning,
there
but
now.
that was figuring, we had asked Charlie on Cade Loop, and, you know, I kind of was thinking about 5 million, and Charlie said, let's put 6 million in. And I think that was for a total replacement, but, I mean, it was a high number, so, obviously. And I think,
Well, that's kind of my point. Everything we're figuring, intentionally, it should be.
Yes.
I agree, I don't disagree with you, Tanya, on that, but we've got that number pretty high from where it would need to be.
to me, the most important thing, other than Cade Loop Bridge, is getting the guardrails
Right,
repaired on those bridges, the ones that
right.
that need it. If worse came to worse and we had to absorb the cost of the road repairs, we probably could figure it out in our budget, but the guardrail is a big one. And other than the bridge, that's the next big one, is the guardrail.
Sure.
And like I said, I think Indian Creek, and I can't remember if it was Lane Valley, the guardrail that's out there is obsolete. They don't make it anymore, so it's not a matter of replacing the sections. They may have to replace all of it. You know, I don't know. But I know that 2 locations has an old style that is no longer manufactured anymore. It's back to back. You see the guardrail and they've got it back to back with one another. They don't make that anymore. So.
So is the state legislature gonna come through and give us some help with a flood warning system?
They can't
Like
even
they-
meet.
Well, I know that's different, but they will eventually. They'll keep calling a special session until they do.
Well,
But are they gonna deliver on anything that actually helps us?
I want to believe we can find flood warning systems outside the budget. We
Oh,
already
yeah.
have large donors that are lined up that have offered to
Okay.
do direct donations to the county. And we have Ingram, which is already, City of Ingram, which has accepted 3 sirens.
Okay,
3 or 4.
good.
So when you start talking about sirens in the city, I was thinking 1 siren per city. Ingram already has
Wouldn't
accepted
hurt to have
3.
multiple ones, but anyway.
I mean, that's an important part of our growth from this is sirens attached to USGS sensors.
Yeah.
And with the donors that are currently lined up, that's why I haven't been talking about it.
Okay.
Exactly.
No, we're all aware of that, but none of that's figured into this budget.
No, that.
No, it should
No,
be.
I
And it's
understand it's
not.
not there, that's why I wanted to,
And,
No.
yeah,
if nothing else, for the
But
public
the
to
public
understand
demands
it's-
it.
It's gonna happen, I agree.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen
It
one
has
way
to
or the
happen.
other.
Yeah.
There's about, I think there's three different entities trying to outdo themselves and get it done.
yeah.
Good.
yeah.
Something will happen.
All right. agree it has to.
Anything else on the budget?
The capital projects, we've got at 2.7. I should have brought my big book in. What all do you have on that?
What?
You brought your big book in, right?
Yeah.
We're showing 2.723
Pass that over.
million on the capital project. I didn't bring that. I thought I brought everything in and I did not.
Sure, I have my copy somewhere.
Just want one more look at that. I know it,
Fire department. There it is.
That's also other, projects being developed, that's not just the current year.
that's what now?
It's not just the current year, the 2.7.
Okay,
It's finishing up some of the money from two other years. It also is where the, Hilton Community Event Center, that's where that gets budgeted out. There's a little bit left over for the airport. It's all in.
okay.
So,
And what you explained to me was that the road and bridge stuff amounts to about $50,000 anyway, right?
And how it's split.
On how much, don't even look at really trying to remove any of the road and bridge equipment or anything, because that's a big ticket item, but you said the way we have that set up, that wouldn't really affect the overall budget, right?
It's
Or financing?
got in there that we're
Right.
gonna spend about 50,000 in interest.
Right.
Is what that's gonna cost
Okay.
us.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that'll
good with-
be up in the
Yeah, I'm good
loans.
with that, yeah. Okay,
so that
And
under,
there's also, the air conditioners for the building, the 10-year plan, that's factored in the loan amount. And there's a dishwasher for the jail that's factored in the loan amount. The jail body scanner is
Mhm.
factored into the loan amount, and a vehicle for juvenile probation. That's all in there also.
okay.
what's the airport, the 212,000, Al Mooney? Did you say we still owe some money on Al Mooney?
Road, it's out there where.
Yeah, no,
your
I'm
building
familiar
is.
with the road project. I thought we already paid all of that, wasn't that 800,000 or 850, I forget.
We have not, that's an ongoing project,
Okay. So that's the portion that you expect to pay next year?
yeah, and so that's just the leftover amount.
Okay.
I'm sure glad we capped our exposure on that.
You've answered all my questions. Thank you very much, all of y'all.
Anything else? Well, if not, then we'll adjourn.